men don't want to date single mothers, or men always talking about single mothers, this, that, and the third. This is a perfect example as to why. Because again, you expect this man to come in, be the man of the house, pay all the bills, be romantic, do all that, be a father to a son that he didn't have. That's not my son.
But he has no say-so.
But he has no say-so in the discipline. He has no say-so in the guidance. He has no say-so in how this house is going to be ran in regards to your son. So how do you expect me to be the man of the house when every time that I try to tell him something that's right, you bucking the system because you getting emotional, because you damn the message I'm saying, you processing it as, no, you can't tell my baby nothing.
Because it's my baby.
It's my baby.
Yep.
So as a man, how enticing is that of a situation to walk into?
If you don't want to end up heartbroken or broke AF, there are 5 things you need to know before you date a single mom. Number 1, you're not her priority. She's got a kid, the kid's the priority. Kids require a lot of attention just to keep the little beasts alive and unharmed. Just the tip number 2, if she's a crappy mom, she's not a keeper. If she can't even care about her kid, she's not going to be able to care about you. Just the tip number 3, it's a package deal. Even if she's an amazing woman, no matter what, if she's coming out of a split or if she's a single mom, she's got baggage. We've all got baggage, but she's got extra baggage. Which brings us to just the tip number 4. You're not my daddy. I know if you've ever dated a single mom, you've heard that. Just the tip number 5, baby daddy is also part of the package deal. Unless baby daddy died, he's still in the picture, even if he isn't.
A lot of single moms will hear that, and yet this will still be how they'll go about with their failed and faulted logic.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you, we don't.
Welcome back to Date Restricted. We are continuing on with our case study series by continuing on with our sequel to the Single Mother series. In the last video, I made it repetitively clear on just what my stance was in terms of the whole single parenthood situation was all about, and especially with regards to the man's perspective of dating a single mother. Here in the West, the idea of the nuclear family is deteriorating day by day, and with regards to what women and men bring to each other to create that unit, those ideals are deteriorating even faster, because of course that's what makes up the root of the nuclear family, what the man and the woman do for each other in that union in order to create the unit as a whole. However, as stats would suggest, these units have been getting torn down quite a bit. Divorce is rampant, most of which is started by the women, who generally speaking wind up getting the best deal in that they usually get the kids, they get alimony, and the man just essentially gets financially devastated throughout the course of all of it. Guys take this into account, especially when dating single mothers, and also in a lot of cases dating single mothers who just so happen to initiate the divorce and just so happen to have the kids and have all of what was left behind by the previous union. And so single guys that are in the dating market that look around to try and see just exactly who's out there and who's worth pouring and investing that time into, there are guys who in the past, a lot of guys that have gone into looking towards single parents in order to facilitate, either getting the family that they wanted without needing to start everything fresh as a whole, or for that matter, they saw themselves being that parental figure in the kid's life that was left behind by the previous parent, the biological parent, that child might need and deserve. Well, in a lot of ways, even when all those situations seem to work out in some cases for the better, when they don't work out, it winds up leading to even more visceral separations than what happened prior in the first union that may have come around. For a lot of guys that are in the dating market these days, especially with the manosphere, the red pill, and just about all guy spaces now having seen a different perspective on how to approach the dating market, it's generally spoken to understand just exactly what you're going into before you involve yourself in any kind of single parent drama or single parent dating. Because as was stated ad nauseum in the first case studies video here on single mothers, the juice typically isn't worth the squeeze when you look at all options available. especially when you weigh that person's situation compared to the situation that person would be in if they were younger, childless, and didn't have anywhere near as much drama or baggage from prior relationships with the child or in general. We're gonna be diving a little bit more into that on this one.
I got a question for you. Have you ever dated a woman with children?
I have, but I was young. I was like 22. I had a cougar. She had some younger kids. How old is your son?
He's 11.
He's 11. And from my experience, I've told myself I couldn't take a woman with children seriously.
Why?
The child's always gonna come first.
Yes.
The child's gonna always come first. I'm going to always need to put you first, but I come second. And technically, he's a 10-year-old boy who's going to get into his teenage years. He's going to be in a situation where you're not my dad, right? I'm not talking about an anecdotal experience. Your son may be a sweet child, but my experience, it just hasn't been the best.
Now notice, he was very, very respectful with how he broke it down for her. He didn't insult her or her situation. He just simply let her know what his preference was because of him dealing with a situation that was very similar in the past, and he just let her know that that's not exactly his first choice in terms of who he'd want to be in a relationship with, which is totally okay. But modern day feminism has basically let everybody know that men having standards is not the way to go, and that we should accept women regardless of who they are, regardless of what their past is, what decisions they've made, what traits they may have. Any and all of it should never impact a woman's status when it comes to the men's perspective on whether or not they'd be a good candidate to date in general. Of course, now guys have gotten wise enough to realize that that's just not how the world works. We have standards and preferences as well that we have every right reason to adhere to.
You have the right to feel however you want about dating a single mom. That's your prerogative, whatever. But you're on a date with a single mom. What are you talking about? Your priority here is supposed to be trying to get a third date. I don't even know why I want a second date with you in this moment.
Realistically, yeah, we can have some fun.
But taking it serious.
It's like taking it seriously is just hard because I don't have to settle. I've done certain things in my life to put me at a certain echelon, to date a certain top tier. Not saying a woman with a child isn't top tier, but like standards wise, is like, I like to travel and be like, yo, let's go. Let's go to Miami, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, let me call my mom and see if she can watch the kid. It's just no real benefit in it for me.
Now, a lot of this information should have been disclosed on the first date, and none of this should be a surprise in the sense of just exactly what each one was gunning after on the second date. So this is either a sign on this particular show here on Network that the information was incorrectly given, or it's just a matter of the fact that there were certain things that both parties weren't willing to let the other know until it was time to see a little bit more of each other. And you can see in this setting, of course, they're working out with each other, and of course, when you work out with any kind of a spotter or workmate, whatever the case may be, yep, you're gonna talk about a lot of different things that's going on inside of your inner circle, which, okay. But you could tell throughout the course of the discussion as his preferences and as, of course, his entire way of thinking became more clear that she obviously had a problem with it, and that she wasn't exactly going to be in any way, shape, or form willing to give his side of things a fair shake as things continued. Of course, they were trying to see what they could do to get a third date, but it's painfully obvious at this point after hearing both sides that was not exactly going to be the greatest priority here in the coming future as far as these two are concerned.
He may have maturity. I felt like you don't have authority. You have a responsibility, but no authority. That's what I feel.
Well, those are some strong words, but Joya,
Yes.
you didn't ask for another date with him. What was the turnoff?
Specifically, the turnoff was when I asked that
Finna make up
question
something right now.
about would you date a single mother? And Jacoby, you proceeded to tell me that basically you're a high-value man and you are too good for a single mother. However, you did also tell me that you were raised by a single mother, which is profound for me to think that a single mother's not good enough for you, but it's good enough for a woman to raise you.
In the last video, I made mention of a term, single mother psychobabble, and this would absolutely qualify. Wow. So you're telling me because I was raised by a single mother, and I'm speaking distinctly in this particular case that she's bringing up as far as he's concerned, just because you're raised by a single mother, that means that that's the standard that you should strive for in the sense of being in a relationship with somebody when you're grown? Absolutely not. Where's the logic in how any of that makes sense? None of it makes sense. Just because I was raised by somebody who for whatever reason or another brought up the family in a very broken home, that I should be okay with dating somebody that made that kind of decision, or somebody that's in that situation rather? Unbelievable. That makes absolutely no sense. In no world should any person strive to be around anybody that's already got a family that was established by somebody else. None. It makes no sense whatsoever. But let's keep going.
That's unfair, and it's very insensitive to women out there who have children.
All right, so just because it's a cycle, I wanted to continue.
It doesn't have to continue.
So what I'm saying is that
it's more about why would you cut off and say that single women are not on the same level?
What you're supposed to learn from is history. So
What's
you're a very
that got to do?
You're a very intelligent woman. You're a very intelligent woman, right?
Yes.
So if you know, as a woman growing up, you know it's the less likelihood for you to be successful by having a child. So what you do, you be more proactive. Using condoms.
What's that got to do with your choice?
Okay, if you're getting pregnant, then all right, cool. Maybe I shouldn't continue having this child because I'm not getting married. A better chance of me having a successful life by finding a man. That's what I'm thinking.
So you were raised by a single mother.
Yes. And
was your mother still alive?
I struggled. My mom's still alive.
Did she struggle or did you struggle?
What an absolutely dumb question. If you're part of a single parent situation as the child or even as the parent, both parties are struggling. The struggles are different, yes, but both parties are struggling. Absolutely. Unbelievable.
Both of us struggle.
Okay, so your words that echoed all around social media, and I want to make sure that we have this clearly, were, I'm a high-value man. I've done things to step up my echelon, and I'm not going to settle for a single mother.
Yeah,
Did I have that correctly? I want to be clear.
Yeah, we'll be selling.
Right. So what makes you think you're a high-value man? The car you drive?
No, the value I put out into the world.
What about your character?
I have great character. I've built myself to basically have better choices. You want to know why? Because women can choose and make a choice.
They can.
They can say, I don't want to date a man that makes less than 6 figures.
They can.
And then what are you doing? You're
But we're
demeaning
not
a man.
talking about that. That's not the situation that
Listen, hold on.
That's not the
Woman can say,
conversation.
I won't date a man less than 5'8", and a man could be 5'4". Do they care about
What does that have to do
ostracizing all of those
with
men?
anything?
If a fat man is sitting here, he can be a fat man, right? But if a fat woman is sitting here, you would say, oh no, we're body positive. Oh, no, we can't say that. It's all about picking her up. So every time it's saying something for a man, it's down.
You got a lot on your back, okay?
Man.
So what I want to be
I'm just saying
clear,
equal
not
rights.
just for you, but for everybody out there, is the car you drive, your resume, your bank account, your accolades is not what makes you a high-value man.
Definitely not.
We are all defined by the sum of our deeds and our character, and you, brother, are coming up to the sum of 0.
Folks, if there was ever a time for you to really understand what a signal language masterclass really looks like, or sign language masterclass, that was the moment right there, the end of that clip, where you should have taken all the notes necessary. Unbelievable. All of it was right there in that one clip. It was okay for them to change subject in the sense of how it benefited their narrative, but the moment he goes ahead and shows them exactly where he's coming from in a certain manner, in the same manner, they immediately begin trying to tear him down, trying to say, what does that have to do with anything? And then he gets to the point of where he's coming from, and they just absolutely blast him with all of the signal language that you could possibly need to see in one clip. I mean, yeah, you saw it right on over there. And just know, if you ever run into women like this that want to date you, this is what you need to be doing.
Running! Better start running! 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 Sprinting! Yes! I just gotta keep sprinting!
That's like saying adopting a child isn't ill. Tell me what benefit I would derive from taking on a single mother's child from another man. What benefit do I derive? I mean, the benefit of the woman, first of all, just because somebody has a kid doesn't mean anything. If you go adopt a kid, it's not your kid, so fuck that
That's
kid.
different. I'm choosing that kid, and I have rights over that child.
You're choosing a single mother, so therefore you're choosing the child that comes with the mother.
Yeah, but that's a negative for me.
No, it's not.
But
You
as
just
soon
said-
as you guys
For
break
him
up, you say
personally,
bye-bye
it's
to the
a
kid.
negative.
For
So
you
we can
personally,
move
but
on.
not for every man. There are
No,
some men
for
that
every-
will date single mothers.
We can move on.
Okay.
There are.
If a man is attractive and has options, etc., it's not in his best interest to date a single mother. Because logically speaking here, not feelings, logically,
yeah.
If I get with that woman and she breaks up with me, not only do I lose her, but I lose access to the child.
Exactly.
And I have no recourse to see that child again because it's not mine.
Yep.
So it's an L for a man to come in as a single father and take on another man's child.
I mean, it depends.
I have all the responsibility with no authority. I can't discipline that child the way that I want.
It depends.
Huh?
It depends. If you go into a relationship with a single mother and let's say the father is nowhere involved and you
That's
legally
even
adopt,
worse.
you legally adopt the child
better
because
go
that's
find
what you
your
choose to do.
daddy.
You can discipline that child. You can do whatever you want. That's
No,
your
you
child.
cannot.
Yes, you can.
CPS says otherwise.
No, at the end of the day, they're
I'm a
never gonna
single
discipline
mother.
them.
Oh,
way they
that's
want.
why she's defending it so
Yeah.
hard.
So you like
There you have it. The fact that she's a single mother defending that point of view as blindly and irrationally as she is just goes to show just exactly what you be in for. No accountability. Absolutely no self-reflection whatsoever was put into her opinion. The only thing that she could ever say was, it depends. And no, from a guy's standpoint, generally speaking, no, it does not depend at all. If you're dating a single mother, you're getting a worse deal than you'd get than dating a woman that does not have any kids. End of. Let's continue.
random men hit your child?
No, I
Why is
don't.
discipline
But
gotta
if I'm
be
with
hidden?
someone and
No,
they
no.
legally adopt my child, we get
No,
that far to where they legally adopt my child and they're living with me and we get married and we're together for 10 years. Who am I to say that you can't discipline this
So they gotta spend
child?
all that time.
Here's the problem,
10
right?
years?
No.
Goddamn.
I date a single mother, so I'll tell you here's the problem, right? When,
Stupid.
Let's say you date this guy, and he gets into your life. He's there long term. You trust him. He adopts your child. How far is too far? For example, he might say, you know what? He threw water on my jacket. I'm gonna smack him.
Well,
But-
first of all, nobody is supposed to hit a child technically by law.
See, this is the point.
I think kids should get smacked.
Now, we'll save the thoughts on child discipline on another day, but in the sense of what's going on here in this particular conversation, she was very inconsistent with the parameters that would be set around the stepfather being able to do so if things got to that point. And on top of all of that, and even speaking from personal experience, that situation is muddy at best on what's acceptable. And it's also been revealed, of course, in later years, as far as my situation is concerned, whenever the step-parent goes and punishes the stepchildren, it feels completely and utterly out of line and awkward for them in general. Because, of course, it's a different feeling than disciplining kids that are your own. And they're trying to get her to understand that from the guy's perspective, it's awkward no matter what, whether you're given permission by the mother or not. But let's continue.
Disciplining a child is not just
Only
hitting a
goes
child.
so far. So see, ultimately speaking, he has no authority. You have all the authority. So
No,
that doesn't make
you
any
don't.
sense.
You don't. Disciplining a child is not hitting a child.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Legally, you can go to jail for hitting
Hold
a
on,
child.
hold on. See, I love, stop the show.
Yeah.
See, here, perfect. So let's say you go with a guy that does believe in beating children. Now, he can't discipline the children how he wants because you are the main caretaker. You are the main guardian. So already my ability to raise this child, etc., is already inhibited.
Gone.
So, and I'm responsible for taking care of this kid, paying for this kid, etc., and I have zero authority. That's slavery. Responsibility without authority is slavery. So for you, it's great because the guy comes in, you got a man, he's helping you with the kid, blah, 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 but the guy takes on way more risk. So I tell dudes, single moms, don't take them seriously because there's not much ROI for the man.
But what if you can't have kids? Then what?
The fuck? Okay, here's the thing. And let's say I can't have kids biologically. I'd be better off adopting my own kid.
Yep.
But what's the difference in between adopting your own kid that was created by someone else than getting with a woman?
Because I have legal rights over that child.
If you legally adopt a child, you have authority.
A lot of single moms will not like that.
Exactly.
And these men
Well,
are not
that's the
adopting
case,
See,
but
here's
that's
the
not
thing.
what
Y'all
I'm
are only looking at it
explaining.
from the female perspective and it benefits you, so that's why you're fighting so hard for it. But I'm speaking from another perspective. Put your son in the shoes. Do you want your son to go in, that's successful, that's made himself, go take on a single mom that has a kid? He takes all this risk with not much upside?
You can't ask me that because I'm a single mom, so I'm gonna say yes. If you feel like that's the, yes, I would.
Nah.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That's fantastic for you to say that. But the point is that there's not much benefit for a man to come in and take in a single mom and her child.
Can I ask a question? Did y'all grow up with your father in the household?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't know what it's like to have a stepfather?
Nope.
Okay, because for a child that grew up with a stepfather, it's important. It's something that fixed the gap.
You know what's better than a stepfather? The biological father.
Yeah.
No.
But sometimes a stepfather could actually be a better figure than the actual biological figure.
I want y'all to take note of what she just said.
He could, right? But you know what they said?
Sometimes
He did something bad.
Not all the time,
You're,
but sometimes.
you're not my dad. What do we do at that point? I'm not.
You're my dad.
It's like there's no authority in that scenario. So to me, personally speaking, it's a bad move for a guy.
See, y'all are only speaking
It's
from the
never
female
gonna be the
perspective.
same.
Also, a lot of men don't want to
never be
overstep
the same.
boundaries. They don't want to overstep boundaries. With,
No, they can't.
They can't.
Even if they wanted to, they can't.
It doesn't even matter if they've been raising the child for 10 years. A lot of them just still don't feel comfortable. Like, that's still not my position because I did not biologically birth this child.
What about
That's
a man? What about a man that is a single father, though? What about a single
So
father?
he's going to continue craving that
A single
fatherhood.
father is
Get
not
me?
the same as a
It's not.
a
Because he's a single father. I could actually never see the child.
Here's the thing: a single father is not the same as a single mother. Because when you come in as a man, right, to a single mother, at some point, if that relationship gets serious, you're going to be expected to take care of that child from a provisioning standpoint and spend money. When a woman comes in, right, and it's a single father, she's not going to be on the hook to take care of that kid financially
Not
like a man will.
financially. What's the difference? I'm sure having to emotionally take care of a child and
but here's the
financially
thing,
take care of a child.
Okay, but again, you still have to expend a lot more as a man coming in, right? When you're dealing with a single mom versus a single woman coming in with a dad, right, that already has a child, that kid is probably going to be
Not
taken care of
necessarily.
financially.
You can't, as a single mother, expect a man to just come in and say, "Here you go. Here's this money. Go take care of your kid."
Right.
Do
You
this."
say that,
You
but
can't do
ultimately
that.
speaking, as time passes, that's your man. You gotta provide.
Yeah.
It's simple. So you might say that, but on paper, it's gonna end up happening
Once
eventually.
things get serious, he will be responsible for
I'll be
provisioning for that
honest,
child.
right? Even me, I grew up with a stepfather, and I will tell you, like at some points, I did not respect my stepfather because he wasn't my real dad. I would tell him, "You're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do."
Exactly.
Realistically speaking,
And
I got a real dad.
Remember when I said to take note of what she said earlier?
But sometimes a stepfather could actually be a better figure than the actual biological figure.
How in the world do you go from saying that to all of a sudden saying this and admitting every ounce of what these guys are literally telling you would happen from their perspective with regards to the child in this arrangement? This is literally what your logic just did to itself.
That is not involved with the kid. Because if he is, God forbid.
Yeah, then it's even worse.
You're even worse.
Yeah. If the father is in the life, then it's even worse for you as a stepdad. Yo, it's an L to be a stepdad.
It is.
Period.
It is.
Like
I would tell my stepdad, I'm gonna tell my dad that you put your hands on me. Like I remember all of that.
It's an L, bro. It's an L.
Yeah.
And again, women don't understand this because women take very little risk when they're the mom and the kid is theirs and the man comes in. But you guys don't understand this stuff because you're women. To you, it's all upside. Oh, I got a guy coming in, take care of the kid, help me out. I got a boyfriend now, kind of a stepfather. It's a W for you all the way. But for a man, it's an L. All the way.
Because of the standpoint.
Yeah,
well, men take more risk when they get with single mothers. Period. Like you take way more financial risk, personal risk, liability, etc.
No, I get it.
That's where the
I get it,
independence
though.
comes into play.
You don't want
at.
to be single, but fuck it. All right, let's go for it.
You said what? You said the independence comes in?
Yeah, you don't want a woman that's independent and has her own stuff or anything like that. I mean, if I'm independent and I have everything that I need on my own and I can take care of my kids on my own, why do I need you to financially support my child?
Sometimes I wonder if these ladies just hear the word independent in their echo chambers and they just throw it around out there without realizing what the true essence of that word really is. The better question to ask in this situation is, if you've got all of that going for you as the woman, why in the world would you need to pester a man to be around you in the first place and pick up the slack for anything that your child might actually bring along with them too?
Okay,
If
so
that's not something that you're comfortable doing, that's not something you're comfortable doing. It's not something that I feel like should be an expectation for someone that's in a relationship with a kid.
More feelings from the single mother instead of more understanding of reality. She might feel that that shouldn't be the expectation, but the reality is, more times than not, single mothers are going to have every expectation that the stepfather that's coming into the life of the child that they have is going to be the one to foot the bill and become the new provider and protector of what's now become of that family. That is just the way things are. And men understand now that it is not a good deal. And above all else, we realize that there are other options out there that abound that give us a much better deal to consider than having to settle for a single mother. And something tells me, given her lack of understanding in this conversation, she's probably going to give you an indication on just why her situation doesn't seem to have many prospects on changing. Just keep listening.
That are single mothers, they do expect that at some point, once they get serious with that man will invest into that child to some degree.
Especially if they're living in the same household. Like, realistically, so you're going to buy groceries for us and not my child?
I'm not going to make anybody
So
take
you're
care of
telling
my
me, right?
child.
You go to Disney with your family. Who's paying for Disney? You or him?
I mean, if it's for my children, I would pay for my children.
And him?
I mean, if that's the situation, then sure. But if he has his own money to pay for him himself,
So you can
that's
date a
fine.
man that you got to take care of.
I've taken care of a man, yeah.
For how long?
About 4 years.
Where's he now?
In my phone.
And there you have it. That's exactly where all them feelings get you. The guys that you're sitting over there talking about all in your phone. That's our generation for you. That's exactly what you're gonna get on over here when you think about these single mothers, especially a lot of these single mothers that have very checkered past, to say the very least. This is just yet more proof that you really need to understand what you're getting yourself into, not just with single mothers, but just over here in general with the women that abound and with the mindsets that abound. I'm not saying that I am going to just outright condemn all Western women. There are a lot of Western women that are very good ladies, okay? But you really need to do a lot of your diligence in the sense of understanding just what it is you're getting into, especially with regards to the ladies that are bringing a lot of baggage up front, whether that baggage is in the form of trauma, whether it's in the form of bad decisions, whether it's in the form of a checkered past, which is something of a combination of the above. It doesn't matter. You need to realize that your livelihood for the future is on the line, and it is best in your interest to realize if you come with somebody that does not have a lot of those issues, also realizes that they've got a role that they would have to play in order for the relationship to be very amicable and for it to be able to function on all cylinders going forward, you need to realize what you're getting into up front. They need to convey that to you. You need to convey that to them so that you lessen as many misconceptions as humanly possible, especially when it comes to single mothers who are bringing a whole nother dynamic to the relationship in the form of them having another child and bringing a whole nother relationship and a whole nother history on the table. You need to realize what you're getting into, and in all honesty, if it were me, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't consider that road. And for the reasons laid out in front of you, and we'll get into more reasons on the next video. This, of course, is exactly why we restrict our dates. Thanks a lot for coming along. Please like, follow, subscribe to the video. We just surpassed our first 1,000 views in the channel. Thank you so much for your support. I couldn't have done it without you, and I can't wait to have you on the next one. To the next one.